Last time on the Alpha Male Universe.
I'm ready to take L's. I'll take 100 L's in a row. I don't give a fuck. Because I'll get up the next day, put on a suit, light a cigar, and I don't give a shit. I bought a Bugatti and I was talking shit. That was the biggest thing in the world.
I don't mean any of this shit.
That's right. It's just funny.
Yeah.
So this might accidentally become the biggest company on earth. Everyone knows who I am. Everyone on the fucking planet knows who I am. So who gives a shit what you think about me? If I read your comment at all. I've got 11 million followers on Twitter. You think I read my fucking comments, bro? It's a fucking mess.
Alright guys, welcome back to the Alpha Male Universe. Now we have another Andrew Tate episode because those in the community seem to find this guy rather entertaining, and there's a whole lot of lore with this guy. So I'm going to be making a video so you understand what you're about to watch. I'm not trying to do any of that clickbait bullshit. Basically this video is going to be about Andrew Tate on a Life and Fit podcast show with the Myron Lames and all those guys, right? We're going to be talking about the military, we're going to be talking about cheating, relationships, all of that, gold diggers, some more topics, right? It's probably going to be I don't know, is it going to be a controversial video? I am a person who has a diversity of different opinions on a bunch of different topics, so I like to keep it fresh, I like to keep it entertaining. Could I just react to clips all day, every single day, laughing at these guys? Yeah, but I want to provide a little bit more value to you. I want to just flush out my opinions on things. So here we are, this is the AMU episode, Andrew Tate featured on the Myron Gaines Lame Ass podcast. So let's get this show on the road.
I mean, I'm in the Army, and I feel like even as a mother, we all should be able to protect our country. And a lot of women feel like, oh, I'm a woman.
You wanted to go to war?
Oh, no, I joined. I'm in the Army.
But, I mean, that would put us at a disadvantage. Like, we're not good fighters.
Some people don't realize the Army is more than just going to war. A lot of us have jobs. A lot of us are police.
Right, behind the scenes stuff, that's different,
there's multiple things. But at the end of the day, it's that I feel like, oh, I shouldn't be put in this box. A man should go fight for us. Yes. A man should go do this. Yes. And it is unfair. A lot of us.
Well, we can't do what men can do. Like,
a lot of women can. We can do a lot of things.
No, I'm sorry.
Some women can provide a lot of.
I swear to God, bro, like Walter bothers me the most probably in the AMU. Well, I've actually never introduced him, but here we are, right? He is now part of the Alpha Male Universe, and Walter is the most phony baloney man I have ever seen in my life. Like, you can just tell that this guy just meat rode his way to the top. I would argue that Myron is much more popular, probably did much more work on this podcast than Walter, and all Walter did was meat ride. That's all he really did, okay? And it's hilarious to hear him strike down what this lady has to say, who is in the armed services, saying that women should be part of the military, that they should go to war. And he's like, nah, they shouldn't. And I already know some people in the comment section are going to be like, what are you talking about? Are you dumb? Like, hold up, just fucking listen for 1 second, okay, before you screech in the comment sections. What I'm saying is that war is so much more complex than like the Revolutionary War or the Civil War, where it's a brawl fest in trenches. Now, are there moments like that? Of course there's close quarter combat, right? But in the modern time, war is so much more complex, right? We have cyber, we have the Air Force, we have the Navy, we have even the space, right? We have so much more than it just being a close quarter combat, and women can totally function and be utilized in the military effectively. We've seen it before. For example, her name was Rose Matty. She was attached to the Green Berets and the Navy SEALs, and she served in combat zones gathering intelligence, like in extremely dangerous environments, right? And she was incredibly effective. That unit was incredibly effective, and it was composed, I believe, of only women, and then they were attached to special operation units, right? And they demonstrated absolute competence and an ability to execute in an extremely dangerous environment. But oh shit, I'm about to curse so bad, bro. A dumb fuck like Walter has no idea what he's talking about because he's just lived like this cushion life. He's in AC, he's in podcasts, he feels good about himself because he just takes a fat ass shit every day and then just posts some bullshit on YouTube and makes some money off that. Walter has no idea what he's talking about because he's never done anything like that in his life. He's a fucking idiot. And you know what? I'm about to crash out. Let me just proceed with the rest of the video and let's go from there.
They pay a lot of money. We can do things too, but most don't want to do
like
it.
Cook.
They don't want to cook. They don't want a job. They don't want to
less stressful.
Right.
May I offer something, please?
It's just in general.
Well, like biologically, right? So cortisol is the stress hormone. Okay, that men and women experience. Did you know that a teaspoon of cortisol takes a one whole day to be able to ingest. She needs to sleep and wake up the next morning to be refreshed. A man can tolerate and process that cortisol within a period of 1 hour. In high stress positions don't work, which is why vote, which is why should not be in politics, and this is why we should not hold high power positions in military or anything else where the safety of the country depends on the people who are representing it. Like, biologically, it's just not compatible. Does that mean that there's not going to be exceptions? Yes. Occasionally, there are going to be exceptions to the rule, but those are exceptions, and we need to be explicitly clear that they are exceptions and not the normal.
There's a hormone called oxytocin, and when an individual responds to stress, that hormone is secreted differently depending if they're a man or a woman. For men, it's a lower amount of oxytocin, so as a result, there's a different response to the stress. For women, oxytocin is secreted at a higher concentration, which explains a difference in response to stress. Now, this is the general rule, okay? This is a scientific fact. And even though that's a general rule, that doesn't explain every single response by every single human being in every single scenario, okay? A man can quite easily fold their cards in response to stress, and a woman can pick up the shield and sword and go to battle, right? This is just the rule of thumb. It's not an explanation for every single person. Now, does that mean they should be barred from being able to be in the military or the high stress environments, leadership positions? That should not bar women, okay? What there should be is there is a strict standard, and if you cannot pass it, if you cannot adhere to it, then of course you get dropped. That's the same thing in life with men as well, right? When a man cannot execute in their duties, he's fired, he's removed, he's kicked out, okay? But if a woman can pass it, so be it. Let her be a leader. Let her be in the military. Let her be effective. Just like the earlier example of Rose Maddie that I showed you, right? She had to go through a strict selection process, and she made it through the other end. A very strict selection process. She demonstrated she can handle stress. So just because it's a rule of thumb that maybe women react more intensely to stress and then men don't react as intensely, that shouldn't bar women from ever participating in those aspects of society. That's just moronic.
Have a place in. Women can do things too, and women just feel like, oh, let me sell my pussy instead of letting me go and get a job.
Oh, no, that's better than selling your. I'll agree with you on that, girl.
That's what 100%. I'm saying. That's
no, I agree.
That's all I'm saying.
But I have another take, and I think that, let me find a way to explain this. Why do you have a job? For example, right? You have a job to get money, and you use that money and you exchange it for the other things you need in the world, right? The reason you don't do everything yourself is because it's not optimal. So you understand, if I'm good at ballet, I'm going to go and do ballet, and I'm going to take the money, and then if I need clothes, I'm going to buy the clothes. I'm not going to make my own clothes. I'm not going to wire up my own house. I'm not going to build my own lodgings. I'm not going to cut my own grass. I'm going to do the one thing I'm good at and take the money and exchange it for the things I'm not as good at. Right. Because if you decide to make your own clothes and build your own house, you're going to actually be poor. So you win by optimizing your life, and you optimize your life by focusing on the one thing you are best at and taking that and exchanging it for all the things you are not good at. So I would say, and the reason I made that is so you understand this point, optimally, the best thing a woman can do, what she is best at, is the only thing that men can't do, which is have children. That is the best way for you to win, because men can do basically everything else. Can do things. Completely right. I agree with you. Bro, I know I have a whole bunch of smart work for me. I have lawyers. I go to judges. I can do a lot of stuff. But what I'm saying is her optimal, what we're best at, and the reason they're best at it is because no one else can do it, is having children.
Just because women are most optimized to have children, I don't think that should be the end all be all for their life. Like, wow, who would have thought like a Galaxy Omega brain statement saying women are most optimized? Like, no shit. They're the ones that receive the milk and then they push out a kid. Okay, I'm not pushing that shit out. I'm not built for that life. Hell no, right? Now, women, they're doing that. Okay, they're the ones having kids. But I don't think that like that should restrict their entire like life choice. If they want to be a traditional woman and just, you know, produce kids and cook and do that and clean, then so be it, right? I don't have a problem with that. Like, do that. Like, that's your life, okay? But if a woman doesn't want to have kids and then she wants to just be a business lady or whatever, then that's fine. That's their life. Like, honestly, I don't have a problem with either option, okay? You know, in regards to the stuff about like, you need to hunker down, you can't do everything in life, I agree with Andrew Tate in that respect, right? Like, I don't want you to just think that just because they're alpha males, I'm just going to instantly think like everything they're saying is wrong. Like, in some respects, what Andrew Tate is saying right here is right. Like, you cannot do everything in life. Like, you need to do something that you're really good at and make money in exchange exchange it for, right? And I guess he is right that women are the most optimized for giving birth, but like that's a no-brainer, okay? Because like I'm not giving birth, like I said. Hell no. All right. So at first, like this doesn't really seem like that crazy of a clip, okay? It's kind of like lukewarm. You're like, all right, yeah, okay. But this next part I think is where it gets deranged, truly.
And before anyone comes along and says, let me tell you this, I'm going to say this from the bottom of my heart. I have daughters, and people often say to me, Andrew, you have all these controversial opinions. What would you say to your own daughter? I pray my daughter at the age of 18 meets an older guy, 45, 46, gives her a house, gives her a Bentley, gets her pregnant, and gives me grandchildren. And if she comes to me and goes, Dad, what? My husband cheated on me. I'm going to say, are you in the big mansion? Are you driving a Bentley? Okay, shut the up. Shut the up. He's taking care of you. If he stops paying your bills, if he stops protecting you, then come to me. But if you are completely protected and provided for, keep giving me grandchildren, because that is the best thing you can do with your life. I'm rich. Your man's rich. You don't need to make money. That's a waste of time. You don't need a Birkin. You don't need a TikTok account. You don't need an Instagram account. Don't sell for pennies. Stop being an and give me grandkids. That's what I truly hope for my own daughters. That is the best thing they can do. That is what will make me most proud.
And you want your daughter to
hold on, ladies. Hold on. You know what's funny, ladies?
This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Genuinely, this is so dumb. Like, this is the part of the video where I said it was going to start getting insane, because basically Andrew Tate is saying that if he has a daughter, the only thing that matters is that she is taken care of with a roof over her head, she gets some money, and she's pumping out the kids. It doesn't even matter if the husband is just blatantly cheating on her, producing other kids with different women, doing whatever, right? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. That does not make any sense to just tolerate cheating. Like, I wasn't raised like that. I'm pretty sure like over 90%, probably 99% of the people who will watch this video were never raised that it's okay for you to cheat on your wife, like the mother of your kid. Like, that's just wrong. And I think Andrew Tate is only justifying it and saying that it's okay because he is himself doing it. Like, Myron is gonna try to attempt to say that most men would agree with this position, but like, if I had a daughter and I just knew that her man was just constantly cheating on her, like, I would be pissed off. Like, you're disrespecting me because you asked for my blessing to marry my daughter, and then you're just running rampant with cheeks in the night. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. This is a stupid position. I don't know who believes in this. If you do, I guess I'll give you the opportunity. I'll hear you out, but like, I cannot understand this bullshit.
So you want your daughter to
hold on, ladies. Hold on. You know what's funny, ladies? You know what's funny? A lot of guys would agree with that wholeheartedly.
100%.
A lot of us would agree with that. I would tell my daughter the same exact thing, because I would rather you get cheated on by one guy than get over by
20 dudes.
Sure.
I'd rather you give me grandkids than waste your time reading a book or doing some TikTok. Give me grandkids. Create Tates for the bloodline. Let's go into let's create progeny to propel the name into the future. Let's do something that matters. Everything else is insignificant.
And here's another too.
This is such a dumb take. It legitimately is such a dumb take. And then you have like Walter in the background, but like, quit meat riding these two guys. Like Myron and Andrew Tate. He is trying to just meat ride these two to the end of time. Such an embarrassing man. He is so embarrassing. Like, if I'm a father to a daughter, I want three things from her partner. I want faithfulness, a roof over her house, and money, right? That's it. That's only three things. Like, I could never justify knowing that her man is just rampantly cheating on her, because guess what? That's gonna lead to a less secure household, because probably he's just gonna move on and kick my daughter out. I'm just saying like a hypothetical situation, right? But yeah, that doesn't make any sense why you would ever tolerate that, or why you would think that's acceptable. But I know this AMU episode was a little bit different. It was a lot more chill. It wasn't really the style of like reacting to like the craziest clips I could find. And yeah, I don't know if that's like an issue. I think there can be so many different styles of AMU episodes, and I'm just experimenting, right? So this video is an experimental video. I really want to hear your feedback in the community if you like it. And yeah, that's basically all I got to say. Really appreciate everyone checking out the videos. I'll see you at the Discord, and hopefully I see you again in a future AMU episode. Catch y'all later, guys. Peace.